What is up, YouTube, and welcome to another exhilarating episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Oh, you know it. It's the lemonade that quenches your thirst. Real people drink it. We have two real people here. That's myself. I'm Provo43, alongside Kane Jr. 88, and then the other Martian that does the podcast with us, Thermite 917. Anyways, it's been a while since we've done a podcast. We're here to cover the month of July, which is a rather uneventful, unexciting, unappealing, and, well, any other word that you'd like to use to describe the mediocre fashion that was this month. But we're going to talk about it anyways, because that's what we are here to do. So we're going to kick it off with the Indy race rating. Kane, you've got that ball. I'm rolling it down the floor. Do something with it.
Sure thing.
I'm glad you took that horrible transition and made it even worse. So that honestly describes the race. Tell us about it.
Pretty much describes the race, because you couldn't pass worth a damn, as is typical at Indianapolis. The race itself was pretty boring, apart from a pretty big incident that happened at the competition yellow. We'll get to that later. And then Denny Hamlin looked like he was going to run away with it, but then he blew a tire with 7 laps to go in turn 1 while leading, handing the win to Kevin Harvick. And we gave this race 3.5. That's pretty much about right, because, again, it's Indy. This isn't the 2017 Brickyard 400 that was crazy and exciting as hell. This was the exact opposite. And the tires could barely hold up, because Denny wasn't the only right front tire failure that happened that day, and it really dragged the whole race down, not gonna lie. So, anyways, let's get that horrible taste out of our mouths and move on to another horrible race. Nick, take it away.
Thank you, Kane. And yeah, it was a horrible race, except for like 2 laps. First, we'll just go ahead and say it got a 4 out of 10 for the Quaker State 400. Now, this was one of those repaved tracks where they tried using that PJ1 in the second groove. Well, for the first few laps of each race of the weekend, it kind of worked, but then everyone went in the second groove, and then you really couldn't pass anywhere. The bottom was just like ice, and it really prevented the race from having any good moments. Now, there was a late race caution, and that sent it to overtime, and it was one of the craziest overtime finishes you'll ever see. They were 4 wide coming to the white flag. Cole Custer stole the win for his first ever career victory. So that saved the race from being like a 2 or 3 out of 10. But let's be real, a good finish doesn't make for a good race. We know that about the 2019 Kentucky race as well. We'll just get that one out of the way and move on to the All-Star. Tyler, what does that one get?
Absolutely. The 2020 All-Star earns a 6.5 out of 10. So it's the first time they were at Bristol for this event, and it's under lights. But it just didn't quite deliver. The hype was simply too high, and the delivery was not what anybody thought it was going to be. Sure, the Open had some moments, but even that fell short in comparison to the years past. The race was too one groove, and while that may be what Old Bristol was, it just didn't have enough laps or cars to put on a proper event. Chase Elliott wins, and, well, we're perfectly okay with that, but the event just should have been better. Ugly paint scheme changes, the lame underglow attempt, or, those were among the other disappointing elements of the night. Somehow this ends up as the highest rated race of the month, and I really don't know why, because of the disappointment factor, but whatever, it was still Bristol. And that being said, we don't want to go back to Charlotte again, so just try this again next year, do a little bit different. I really don't know what is going to make it better besides a full field and 500 lap. Oh wait, that's the Bristol night race. Yeah, that'll be a good race. This, not as much. Still love Bristol. And we move back to points-paying races.
Yes, we do. We now move on to another recently repaved track that puts on horrible show after horrible show, and that is Texas Motor Speedway, which we have given a 4.38 because we decided to be way too specific with the averages. But who cares? It was, again, another lackluster event. Some strategy, though, did come into play at the end, and it ended with the 2 Richard Childress cars running 1-2, with Austin Dillon picking up his first win since the 2018 Daytona 500, and Tyler Reddick picking up second, his best finish of the year so far. But other than that, not a whole lot happened, other than whatever. It's Texas Motor Speedway. Who gives a crap? Let's move on, please, Nick. Last race of the month. God.
I'm not sure how to follow that one up. But yeah, then they moved on to Kansas for the final race of July, the Superstar Batteries 400 presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts or some weird long name like that. I'm serious.
Oh, what a stupid ass name.
But yeah, this one was slightly above average. It got a 6 out of 10. There was no PJ1, so cars could move around a little bit more in the hot, slick sun. It was a hot one out there. But yeah, they were all over the track, and there was actually some attrition. A couple hard hits, a couple cautions breed cautions kind of situations going on late in the race. Ultimately, you still couldn't really pass, and outside of those restarts, it kind of strung out and got single file like usual. But still, it could have been worse. There was a green flag pass for the lead late with Denny Hamlin passing Kevin Harvick, and Harvick, hell, he almost got him back, but Hamlin got his 5th win of the season, kind of got back into form after a few rough weeks, so him and Harvick are still dominating the season. But yeah, just your typical kind of mile-and-a-half event that had a couple memorable moments, but still, like Tyler said, this was not the best of months for NASCAR, but still, they're racing in a weird time of history, so I guess we'll take it. Let's move on.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's time to move on to that next segment. It's awards, right? It's gotta be. No, wait, hold on a second. Guys, wait, who raced? Our good old buddy Jags Mobile, CODY COUGHLIN! Oh my god! He's back to racing. He's doing things. He popped up out of hibernation. I love it when he does that. You know, he sits back and he has a big old bag of kettle corn and he goes into the corner for a while, and then he popped back up, and he's racing late models. So that's right. Where did CODY COUGHLIN finish? And oh my, like how do I even say this next sentence without getting emotional? Nick, how do I do it?
You can't. CODY COUGHLIN won a race.
Oh, what?
Yes!
It's time for a jet celebration.
Oh!
Yeah! Jags!
Jags! Too much Jags! So Jag, I can't handle the whole Jags. Holy shit. First of all, it was newsworthy for him to even pop up and race. Well, he's in the old ARCA/CRA Super Series event sponsored by Jags. Yes, literally sponsored by Jags. You know, at Anderson Speedway, he's running there. You know, he actually had some talent behind the wheel of a late model. That ain't no bullshit. So he starts in 8th position, and he wins that son of a bitch 125 laps around this quarter-mile bull ring, and he damn well used that front bumper to good use, getting himself a win. Take a look at the video right here. Woo! Look at him. He's so happy. Even Daddy was in victory lane. You know, he's still a little disappointed that Daddy pulled the check, but, you know, gave him a nice little allowance so he can run this late model. And as a matter of fact, this actually is CODY's first win in a late model since 2016. Because, you know, obviously he doesn't race too much, and, you know, his NASCAR career happened during that time span. We all remember how that went. But, for old time's sake, let's see what he had to say. Oh, that's right, he doesn't update his page no more. He might just be embarrassed. Oh, CODY, here's what he had to say. Well, we were the class of the field tonight. Nobody even had a thing for us. Sure, I didn't start on the pole, but I didn't want to kick their ass in qualifying. That's just not my style. I'm a nice guy. But, you know, we ended the night in victory lane. That's just what I do. I'm a big, hairy American winning machine. Thank you. I mean, honestly, that doesn't really sound a whole lot like CODY, to be honest with you. I don't know why he would do that. That sounds pretty arrogant. But, you know, whatever. He was probably just happy. We're happy for him. He actually raced also in the Red Bud 400, which is a well-known late model race. He finished in 10th, so a little more CODY COUGHLIN-like result. But it's just great. I mean, he's back racing. Like, that's awesome. All right? CODY, we just want our little buddy to do well. I know he's never going to be a NASCAR driver ever again, but he's always going to have a place in our hearts, and I'm glad this segment was back for just a brief period of time. What's that call for, guys? Jags!
Jags!
Jags! I'm sorry about that. I was just too excited.
You never need to apologize when you say Jags. Never.
Then I'll say it again. Jags.
Okay. A little more calm. I understand.
Jags?
Alright, now you're pushing at this fucking point, Nick.
Jags, baby, yeah!
Get off the stage, please.
He's Jags away from the racetrack.
But on the track, he's also Jags. And now that that is out of the way, we now move on to the actual awards segment for the month of July. So, as always, we start off with the classic boners of the month. We got multiple boners this week. Nick, what are they?
Okay, and it goes to the frickin' Indy Pit Road collision during the competition caution around lap 15 or 20. Just your classic stack up. Indy Pit Road is narrow to begin with, we all know that. There's just no room between the walls, and when something goes wrong, there's nowhere to go. And this was the case here. Check out the video. Pretty self-explanatory. A late exit looking for your box, and just no one can really see in front of the car in front of them because they're all right on their ass, looking at their tachometer, who knows what, and it just caused a whole big mess. Fortunately, the crew member that was hit on Ryan Blaney's team was okay. He did have a fracture in his leg, but he will recover. Could have been a lot worse, honestly. Just a whole lot of damage, including Corey LaJoy, some others. You hate to see it, especially so early in the race. It knocked out Justin Allgaier, who was subbing for Jimmy Johnson, who got COVID that week. Oh my god, ridiculous. Y'all boners. I know it was an accident, but you still got to watch where you're going. Moving on to the next award.
Yes, that would be the day from hell! And really, this was a month from hell for Jimmy Johnson because, of course, as Nick mentioned, at the very beginning of the month, he was diagnosed with COVID-19 and had to miss his final Brickyard 400 while Justin Allgaier filled in. And Texas comes around a couple weeks later, and, well, let's just say it was absolute hell because not only did he knock the wall down at the exit of turn number 4, which pretty much ruined his day, then he hit Ty Dillon under the yellow flag later on in the race. Which, that's pretty much a summary of Jimmy's season so far. He ended up finishing 26th, 12 laps off the pace. Hopefully your upcoming IndyCar test with Chip Ganassi Racing goes well because I'd say that's going to be the highlight of your 2020 season. So I hope things get better, Jimmy, and hopefully you don't get COVID again. Anyways, moving on to the next award. Tyler, what is it?
Absolutely. The only people that had a worse month than Jimmy Johnson is JTG Doherty. And that's right, they get the Month from Hell award. They finished all 4 points-paying races in last place. 3 of them for Ryan Preece, and then 1 for Ricky. Wow. If you're a non-backmarker team, to pull that kind of feat off, you must have done something really awful. And they sure as hell did. They got caught up in the Indy Pit Road mess. Both of them. Like, they were running so far back there, and, well, yeah, that's what happens, guys. Get better. Both of them missed the All-Star race, so, yeah, there's that. No money for you. And the entire month, their best finish was 29th at Kentucky with Stenhouse behind the wheel. Everything else was a DNF. That is a month of suck. Congratulations, JTG Doherty. You typically pull that off in the paint scheme department. I'm glad you could really step it up a notch and, do it on the track. Mediocrity just wasn't good enough. You got to finish last. Great job, guys. Next award.
Thank you, Tyler, and that is the
Straight Jacket Award!
And it goes to Quinn Houff. First of all, you might be thinking, who the hell are you? Well, he's made some Xfinity starts, he's been running some Cup races. He's had some quiet, modest races, just kind of stayed out of everyone else's way, until this one at Texas. Late in the race, he just decides he's going to pit from the second lane without looking where he's going, and he damages Matt DiBenedetto and Christopher Bell before going head-on into the outside wall off of turn 4. That is just a ridiculous move. I haven't seen anything that dumb since at Charlotte in 2006 when there was a similar incident with Mark Martin. Now, this one was probably more dumb just because the rules package, the cars are kind of easy to drive, and you should just be aware of your surroundings. It's 2020. Come on, Quinn! But still, no excuse. The spotter was saying there were cars coming up fast, watch where you're going pretty much, and he just ignored them and did his own thing and took out his own underfunded car.
Coming hard inside. The hell, he just turned in our door here. I have no idea what he was doing.
So don't be a dumbass next time, you're freaking crazy. But now, we have a whole bunch of positive cigars to give out, so take it away, Alex.
All right, yep, looks like Ross is going to be working overtime this week because we got a ton of cigars to hand out for the month of July. We're going to start off with the Indy Road Course. This is the first time that NASCAR stock cars have run on the infield road course at Indianapolis, and just a couple hours after the Indy cars had run just earlier in the day. Chase Briscoe made a badass moves all race long, including the winning pass with just 2 laps to go, taking him 3 wide coming down the front straightaway, going into that hard right-hand turn for the first turn. Obviously, it's his home track. He's from Mitchell, Indiana, just down the road from Indy, and obviously a feel-good win for him and for Stewart-Haas Racing. So, overall, a great race. It looked like Austin Cindric was going to be the guy to beat because we know how good he is at road courses. And then also you had A.J. Allmendinger in the field as well, so a pair of road course specialists, and Chase managed to hold both of them off. So congratulations to Chase, and a great race for Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We also had a couple of underdogs finish in the top 10 in that race. Alex LeBay came home 8th in the 90 for Mario Gosselin. And then Preston Pardis. Yeah, you might have heard of his father, Dan Pardis, or at least I think that's his dad.
He is Dan's kid.
He is Dan's kid? All right, well, thank you for that confirmation. But either way, he doesn't run much. He typically runs road courses in the Xfinity Series. He came home in 10th. Congratulations.
We just got a report that he is Dan's kid.
Dan, you are the father. Anyways, moving on to the Brickyard 400. Matt Kenseth brought it home in second after an absolutely rough stretch. He had a shot to win it, especially after Denny Hamlin had his problem with the cut tire. It looked like Kenseth was going to challenge Kevin Harvick, but Harvick was just too much to overcome. Still, second place was pretty impressive. So, Matt, welcome back. Congratulations. Keep it up. And then Michael McDowell. Yeah, he doesn't normally finish in the top 10, especially on an oval, but he came home in 7th, driving for Front Row Motorsports. So, Mikey, congratulations. And Bubba Wallace. Now, this has probably been one of the more important seasons of Bubba's career with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and him pretty much being the face of the sport right now. But he brought it home in a very solid 9th place result. So, Michael, Bubba, congratulations. Enjoy those cigars. Anyways, moving on to Kentucky. Tyler, take it away.
I sure will. It's a little bit of an extension off of Kentucky because freaking Austin Cindric. What a month this guy had. First of all, he wins the first Kentucky Xfinity race. So, right away, you're like, hey, that's awesome, man. You got your first oval win. You know, maybe this is a start of you winning a lot. Yeah, no shit, because he came back the next night and did the exact same thing. So that's 2 races in a row. Goes to Texas, finishes second. Then Kyle Busch gets chucked, which is absolutely hilarious, and we love so greatly. So, Austin inherits another win, 3 in a row. And he followed that up with another second place in Kansas. So, I mean, what a hell of a month for the lad. Yeah, I think he can win in an oval now. He's not going to worry about that at all. Kicking ass, taking names. I didn't have to hit him with my road car for him to do that. We got more cigars. Kyle Weatherman. He finished 8th place in the first Kentucky race in a Mike Harmon car. This is the first top 10 in team's history. I have absolutely no idea how in the hell that happened. That car is gotta be one of the worst in the field. It's a shitbox. Constantly a backmarker car. Mike Harmon putted it around for a while before he realized his ass was too fat, so he needed to replace it with somebody that's a lot skinnier. And regardless, the car is still slow, but they survived the day, found themselves in the absolute right place at the right time, and old Kyle Weatherman got himself a nice result. So, great job, kid. Then we got to go to Cole Custer. First of all, he finishes 5th at Indy. It was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Like, he's been having such a rough year. He won Kentucky! What? He came from 6th and made a badass move. It just was like, this is happening? Cole Custer's winning? I don't understand life. But it's been 2020, the year of absolute fuckery, and Cole Custer winning in a cup race is right on par. So, nice job. Get yourself some custard. I know you did. Probably a nice dish. Whatever, Cole. You're kind of a weird-looking fucker. Figure out how to stand on top of the car properly without, like, falling over like a little weeble.
He has no balance, and that doesn't bode well for a race car driver.
Exactly. He's a weirdo, all right? But you did good. And the final cigar I'm handing out goes to Chase Elliott, who did not have the best points-paying month, but hell yeah, he got himself the $1 million with a nice performance at Bristol. You know, kind of redeeming himself a little bit as far as Bristol goes, because remember what happened earlier in the year with that old dive bomb on Joe Logano late in the race? That didn't work out. But, you know, he finally does it. He's now $1 million man himself, just like Daddy. I tell you what, that's a nice job there, boy. Nice beard. And not so nice job sneaking up to the stands during the Open because NASCAR yelled at you. We've got more cigars.
Thank you, Tyler, and we'll start with RCR. Of all the teams to get a 1-2 finish at Texas, it was them? Austin Dillon took 2 tires and Tyler Reddick took no tires on the final caution, and they held everyone off. Now, again, the rules package sucks, and they had PJ1, so no tires was almost better than 4 tires, but they still had to execute, and did they ever. Dillon got his first win since the 2018 Daytona 500, and he actually won a race without dumping someone or having fuel mileage be a factor. So they won straight up, and they needed that. That team had struggled. That is their first 1-2 finish since Talladega in 2012, I believe. They just got it done. It was just one of those things, especially after Cole Custer getting his first win, for Dillon to get his right after that. It's just like, what is this season? Yeah, let's move on to the first truck race at Kansas, where Austin Hill got his first win of the season. Had some strong runs earlier in the year like Atlanta, but finally broke through and closed the deal. The final 30-lap run, it was basically all him. After a fun, clean, hard race, it just kind of strung out, and no one could catch him, and he got the victory. So good job for him. I know he's been working hard to get more physically fit, and it paid off in that one. In the second Kansas race, this one was a totally opposite kind of race. A lot of wrecks, a lot of stuff going on. Matt Crafton was the one that closed the deal in this one after holding off a hard-charging Christian Eckes. It was his first win since Eldora in 2017, and he's had a good string of top 10s and 5s going now. Maybe starting to get that momentum rolling after being really inconsistent. I don't even know how he won the championship last year, but he's Matt Crafton. He's never going to leave the trucks, so we might as well get another win here and there. Then we move on to the Xfinity Kansas race, where another Menards car won. When will you ever see 2 Menards vehicles win in one day? Paul Menard must have been having a... I don't know how he smiles, but somehow he was, as much as he can. Brandon Jones got the win! I have no idea how he did this. After a lot of shuffling happened late with some late cautions, Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric looked like they were the class of the field, but they had their own issues. Cindric had some damage, and on the final restart in overtime, Brandon Jones went from 7th to 1st somehow. He just snuck through everyone when Ross Chastain kind of stacked everyone up and went around Ryan Sieg, who stayed out, and just drove around Austin Cindric into turn 1 and got the job done. So he is definitely no longer a no-talent ass clown. He's proven that a while ago. He actually has talent. He finally found it, and he's racking off a couple wins here, so good for him. And with that, that is all the cigars. A lot of positivity this month, even though the races looked like not much happened. So, I don't know.
But no crying towel? I'm kind of sad about that.
Oh, Tyler gets the crying towel.
Sure, why
It's
not?
been a while since we've given one out, so...
It's odd, though, because, you know, there's plenty of bitching going on. But just not quite enough in-race. We'll get that. I mean, Kyle's overdue. He's going to get one before the year's out. Guaranteed. Probably a couple.
Yeah, but he's KFB.
What the fuck ever.
And it's time for the paint scheme segment. We have 3 good ones from the month of July. Check out the montage.
Hey, fuck you, man!
And yeah, of course, we have some bad ones as well. I'll kick it off with Garrett Smithley's Excel.com Chevy from Indianapolis. What is this thing? Now, we know Rick Ware Racing has some crappy paint schemes. They actually tried to make this one pop, but this shows how little they have experience in that category, because this one is just all over the place. It's like there's 5 different paint schemes mashed into one. It's like a cornucopia of shit.
I like that.
Because they got some stars on the paint scheme for no reason. It's like they're trying to be patriotic, but they're really not. Why are they there? Otherwise, there's just some weird kind of outlines for no reason. They kind of look like they're trying to go somewhere, but then they die off, or they're just in the middle of space, and I don't understand this car. It really does want to try. It's got some good gradients, and I like the colors, but the paint scheme itself is just a mess. I'm almost at a loss for words, because like I really do want to like it, but it just falls short. It sucks to suck. I don't know. Does anyone else have anything to say about it?
It's a clutterfuck of fuck.
Yeah, that's the word.
And you know what? And I'm just going to take it from right there. Coming off of that, clutterfuck of fuck is exactly what describes the all-star paint schemes. Those who are part of the NASCAR Fan Council, like myself, knew this was coming for a while now. Because I remember when their little survey came around saying, hey, where do you prefer the numbers and the sponsors and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm a traditionalist, so, number goes on a fucking side of the car where it's been forever. That's kind of the way it looks the best. I get it. They're trying something for the All-Star race. Whatever. I'm not overly annoyed about it, but it still sucks. They did it. They fucking suck. Don't do it again. Same thing with the glow light. They tried that. I don't understand why they couldn't do it color coordinating to the paint scheme as far as team preference instead of manufacturer, all being the same color. That was poorly executed. I just had to throw that out there. So, not only is it just a shitty concept, shitty executed, everything that we got going here, some of the absolute worst ones. I want to start with William Byron's car. Now, we already know the Flames car is cool as hell, but this is one of the teams that decided they needed to change the entirety of the paint scheme into just generic whatever the hell this is. Dark blue. Oh, and they were calling it the sea glass style paint scheme, which is bullshit because whatever. I don't care. You can put any type of finish on it. You can't polish a turd. That's an age-old saying. You can't do it. You did it here. Piece of shit. Massive Axalta logo. The number's too high. The paint scheme's lame. You threw Liberty and Hertz back on the frickin' quarter panel area just for good measure. Terrible job. Nice going. Cole Custer. The last entry, technically, to earn his way in before the Open. They literally are the definition of throwing together a paint scheme. They didn't try at all. First of all, it's a split scheme, which we have established a million times in this show. Sucks ass. Don't do it. This is a horrifyingly just example of a split scheme. Whatever the hell they're doing with the Haas tooling, it looks awkward as hell on the side. The numbers way up, trying to invade into the damn window net. I honestly, I feel like there's a Me Too movement going on right there. It's ridiculous. Way too close. Back that shit down a notch. Horrible attempt of whatever it is on the quarter panel Fusion 360. What is that? A razor? Is it? Is Cole Custer the best spokesperson for a razor? Has he shaved yet? I don't think so. God damn. What a terrible paint scheme. See? I go beyond the scheme. I look for it to make sense. It doesn't make sense. None of these schemes do. So, for the third time, never run this style again. You're terrible.
This number style almost could have worked with a great paint scheme. But of course, most people that actually are creating for NASCAR in the Cup Series, they don't have the knowledge to do that. And they just all fell short. You see all these guys that are looking for work that have so much talent, and yes, I know the sponsors can influence it a lot, but at the same time, you see what they could be, and then it's what happened here?
Well, yeah, I mean, we see that every single week with just the regular paint scheme before this concept even came into fruition. So it's we knew what to expect no matter what. I don't like style. I never will. But no matter what, they're not executing it. None of them will. So, it's pointless. The entire exercise is a waste of time. It looks like hell. That'll be it. That pissed me right off. I hate that. Every one of them sucks. Joey's car sucked. They all sucked. Joey Logano's basic scheme got changed to be more basic. It sucked. But Ryan Priest's was pretty solid, so that's why it was in the best man schemes.
All right, it is time for our monthly fantasy recap, and before we get down to the race results, we have 2 changes to announce. So Tyler has taken out Ryan Newman and Cole Custer from his driver lineup, and in their place are Matt Kenseth and Austin Dillon. So that is Tyler's new lineup for this year, and it seems to be helping him because he went and won Indy. That's right, Tyler took home the win in the Brickyard 400. I came home with the win at Kentucky. And then Tyler also won the All-Star race by picking Chase Elliott, which got him 20 bonus points. And then he also went ahead and won Texas as well. So this was probably the best month Tyler has had fantasy-wise. And then it all ended with Damani taking home the win this past weekend at Kansas. As things stand after Kansas, I'm still in the lead with 2,683 points. Nick is second, but only by 24 points. He could very well catch me. Tyler has moved into third off of his fantastic month. He is 132 back, so he's no longer in the hole. He is now within striking distance. And Damani only 3 points behind Tyler in fourth, 135 back. That is your monthly fantasy update. Back to you, Tyler.
Whew. Wow, what another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Mark's Hard Lemonade. Tell you what, I love doing this show. You know, when you get to the end of the month, you really take a look back at all the good and the bad. I really like our flow. Not a lot of other people do. That will always annoy me. You know, after 3 years, you figure we got some sort of following, but we haven't. So this is my monthly rant about my disappointment in our viewership, but that's okay.
Our
We
fans
know.
suck ass.
You hear that? If you made it this far, you suck. You gotta love it. Sitting here talking trash. High five, Nick. Yeah. I'm putting my hand up in the air. I know, it's kind of awkward. Whatever. So for the Monty HD. Yeah. Okay. For KMG 88, Blizzard. For their my 917, H2O. For myself, Fobo 43. Shit, I don't know. Dale Jr. Just looking for something, you know. Subscribe us. I feel like I nailed it. This is an awkward outro. I've kind of become really good at those. You know, not good ones, because why would we have talent here? But anyways, we leave you with this weirdness. Nick is
God,
trying
I just want the show
himself.
to be over.
I know, right? See, we're trying to get there, and we're just sitting here wasting everybody's time, right, Nick? Shut up, Nick.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, go fucking go, just dig a hole, fall into it.
That actually sounds fun.
You
I think I will.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you do that and then bring a couple of candles to go sniff? So this has been Behind the Wall. You've been Behind the Wall. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I should buy a helicopter and learn how to fly it.
That would be a
And,
scary
and
sight.
land it on a beach.
That's a big beach.
It was a small beach.
Yeah, I know, right? But it'd have to be a big beach. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like a really big beach, a wide berth for you to land Bertha. Which is going to be what you're going to name your helicopter, Bertha. Because that's just what you do. And then you christen it by smashing a bottle of water off of it, which wouldn't explode anyway, so it'd be kind of weird and awkward. But that
Yeah, what the
sums you up to a T.
Wait, what? I honestly zoned out there, and then I heard something related to me that probably wasn't the most pleasant thing.
I love it. Fucking ARCA sucks ass. The
Hey, at
worst
least
ever.
Nickolapolis got a top 15.
Let's fucking do this, man. Let's light this candle
Oh yeah,
and smell the scent. Hopefully it's a good one.
I was sniffing right there.
Yeah, we can tell.
You are. You know what, Nick? I just realized this. You are probably one of those candle sniffers. Like, I could totally see you doing that, going into any place ever that sells any sort of candles, and you walk into the aisle and you're like, "Oh, this is a nice scent. I feel this wonderful aroma." And then you
I
walk.
haven't.
No,
like-
no. You start opening jars. We know what you do. Okay.
Okay, fine. But related to sniffing, because a few times on the way home from work, Zach likes to go to the Panda Express that's before my house and just takes it home to his. And that's a good smelling place, okay? And he gets his bag through the drive-through window and he puts it in the back seat, and I just gotta sniff it. And he gets pissed. He's like, "Don't sniff my food. It's weird." And I'm like, "Well, it smells good."
Let's just be real. This whole conversation was weird. It's the moment you said, "Oh, and relating to sniffing." like, who the hell says that?
Yeah.
Fucking weird guy. So, he probably fired his social media managers.
He's working on his next big blockbuster film.
Oh my god. What would that be called? Fucking Meatball and a Half? I don't know.
His COVID mask doubles as a bib.
That's good.
Yep.
Damn. Man, that'd be one. Hopefully it's not white, or else that'd get a real spotty mess after one meal.
Did Austin take 2?
Austin
and
took
Reddick
2,
none?
Reddick took none.
Okay.
RCR Command Center.
Yeah, Tyler, and we'll start with RCR. Oh my god. Of all the teams to get a 1-2 finish at Texas, it was them? Austin Dillon got his first win since the Coke 600 in 2018.
Nope.
2016.
No.
The Daytona 500.
Totally
Daytona 500.
wrong on every spectrum, Nick.
I knew I had nothing, so I was just throwing stuff out there and hoping it would stay.
It sure as shit didn't stick. You lost.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that again.
That is your monthly.
Sorry. That is your.
Great
Jesus.
game sounds tonight.
Yeah, you've been in form.
I love my teammates. I love my teammates. I love my teammates.